Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Alright, today we are making another simple hook. This one is going to be just a spade hook. Just going to be a simple spade end that we drill a hole in, or in this case I'm going to punch a hole in it just to put a screw through it or a nail through it and hang it up on the wall. The simple little hook. This one I'm going to do out of round bar. The last hook I've done, the drive hook, I've done out of square bar. So doing this one out of round bar, you can use either, but by doing the other one it means I get to show you how it finishes differently. Alright, let's jump into it. The material we're using today is just a little piece of 1/4 inch, 5 inches long, so 125 mil by 6.5 mil. That is our stock material. What we're going to do is draw out a taper on one end and we're going to round that taper off and put a curl in it and then put the hook on it. On the other end we're going to do the spade end, and I'll probably do this end first because it's going to be easier to hold in the tongs. So for that we're going to put a sharp taper on it and then we're just going to drive it down flat, same as when we're making a leaf or something like that. Alright, well let's fire up the forge and get going. Okay, so we're going to start with just forging down a taper on the end. You just want a fairly short, blunt taper on it. So just hit, turn, hit, turn. Okay, and now I've got the basic taper in. I'm just going to roll the bar and round that taper off. Not strictly necessary when you're doing the spade end. You can work without doing the rounding, but it's just nicer, at least cleaner work. So I'm much happier to round it off. Alright, hanging over the edge of the anvil, half on, half off blows, and just driving the metal down into the anvil. And that will spread out that spade end for me. Okay, next up we're just going to punch the hole. So I don't need too much heat on it. As you can see, the way I've got that grip between my legs not working the greatest, and you'll see it come apart very soon. Need to make up some tong clips, so there's got to be a video coming up soon. That way I can have those tongs gripping properly instead of that happening. Okay, back out with some more heat on it. Just knocking it down again from the front. Flip it over to the back. Just knocking it down where we've already got a mark showing from hitting on the other side. And yet again, a demonstration of why I need tong clips. So yeah, must do a video on those soon. Just coming to the Pritchell hole just to finish it off and drive out the slug. A couple of hits, punch goes through. And there we go, there's our punched hole. And you can see there's a bit of deformation there, so heat it up and just knock it flat again. And then we will turn it around. Turn it around, silly. Alright, put it back in the forge with the other end facing in so we can start working on the hook section. Now we're just starting off with our tapers. Again, a sharp square taper. Just driving down that sharp square taper. Once I've got the short taper, then I'm just going to extend the taper out into a long taper. So you always start with the short square, long square, and then in this case, because it's a round bar, we're going to round off. But during this heat, I'm just taking the taper out to the full length that I want. Back in, heat it up, out we come, and now we're just doing the rounding. So we're just going to knock it down on the corners. So we're forming an octagonal bar, and then we're just rolling it around and random hits just to round it up. Okay, now we've got our round bar. We're just going to curl that little edge down, curl it back around, just putting a curl on the end just so we've got a finishing point. Again, just so there's no sharp point on the end of it. We don't want anything on the hook that's going to snag anything. And by curling it over, we take away that sharp point. So there we go. There's our little curl on the end. Alright, back in, heat it up. As you can see, the end's quenched just so I can knock on it. Just going to knock it over the anvil just to start the bend. Okay, then we bring it over to the horn and just use the horn. And again, you start with the thicker part of the horn. You're knocking on the post side of the horn. And so you want to knock it around. That there, it was a bit too much curve in that side, so just had to straighten it. So anytime you're hammering on the tong side, you're loosening. Anytime you're hammering past the horn, then you're tightening. We just keep bringing it down towards the tip of the horn as it gets more towards the shape that we're after. Just a couple of final tweaks. You don't want to do too much when you've lost the heat in it. And just looking at it, there's a little bit of twist in it, so I'll just need to fix that up before I finish it off. Yeah, and we all make mistakes. We all have little things that are out, and we've got to fix them up. That's the beauty of working with hot metal, is you can adjust it as you go. As long as you're not trying to bash over a thin piece of metal at the end, you're pretty good. Just apply some heat, adjust it. It'll come back to true. All right, now as you can see, there's still a bit of red heat, so wait for it to go to black heat into the oil for an oil finish. This is just a general outside piece again, so oil finish is absolutely fine on it. And I'll just bake that in a cooling forge. Okay folks, there we go. Nice little spade end hook. Nice simple little one. Again, this one so you can fix it with a screw, with a nail, that sort of deal, as opposed to the drive hook, which you're just driving the end of it in. So again, very basic sort of hook. Nice little beginner piece. Something to practice on. All right, so there we go. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and bye for now.